to Recovery Recreation TV. I'm your host, Susie Lordy. I'm also the founder of a 501c3 nonprofit here in Massachusetts called 24 Hour Power, Inc. And we do recovery graffiti all over the state of Massachusetts. And what we found was when we would be doing events somewhere out and about, people would come up to us and say, there's nothing fun going on around here. Now, we know that's not true, but we also knew that spurred us on to start finding out what's going on all over Massachusetts, because people in recovery, you have to find some fun things to do. You know, it's not all work and no play. And so that's what we do. We bring you stories from every zip code in the state of Massachusetts that will let you know what's going on month to month. And we have plenty of links on our site, Recovery Rec TV, for you to get more information. But without any further ado, let's get to some of my favorite players in this industry, Teen Challenge. And I'd like you to welcome the director of Teen Challenge, that is Joe Rand. Joe, great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having us.
No, it's a pleasure having you. And also we have the program director supervisor, Enzo, Racca.
Hi, thank you so much for having us on today.
Teen Challenge. Now this has been around for what, 60 years?
Teen Challenge started, like you said, over 60 years ago. It started in the city of New York, and it started with one man going into the city trying to rescue youths that were trapped in, gang lifestyle, addiction, and from there, we've gone out. We have over 250 sites all across the United States, and we represent Massachusetts, the state of Massachusetts. So we've been here in Brockton, Massachusetts, for over 50 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been awesome to be a part of such a organization with such a rich history of helping people.
What is Teen Challenge's holistic approach?
So Teen Challenge's holistic approach is, for those who know what goes along with the holistic approaches, not only are we a 15-month faith-based residential program that teaches guys spiritual principles, we give them group counseling to where they're able to talk about the underlying issues that go along with their addiction and their abuse history. We're also a nonprofit, and we do a lot of fundraising. So some of the ministries or the programs that we have here, we allow, and these guys have an opportunity to learn skills also, like culinary. They learn under a head chef how to maneuver and move their way around in a kitchen. We got the carpenter's shop, and that is literally a carpenter's shop. These guys, they create wood fabric items like cutting boards, lounge chairs, things of that sort, to where, we in turn sell and raise money for the program, but it teaches these guys how to a skill.
People are actually showing them how to do this. I think that's awesome. So you have the long-term facility, but you have something else to talk about that's going on there now too.
Yeah, so this year we opened our clinical stabilization services program, which is right now we have eight beds open, but we're going to be moving to 16 and eventually to 32 as we bring staff on board for that. So that's a 14 to 28 day program for guys to come in and get stabilized. Some move on to the long-term facility. Some go to other services, or sober houses and things like that. So we're just trying to kind of broaden, our reach and be able to help more people. In our outpatient care, we're helping teens, we're helping women and men as well. So a lot of exciting things going on campus. We're working towards a transitional program for people who are leaving, the long-term program, to be able to stay within the environment of Teen Challenge, but kind of take another step back into, society, back into, their regular life. So just trying to broaden our reach.
Every time I've been there, the one sense that I can honestly say is there is such a brotherhood there.
Yes.
You guys really are a family. You all know each other, and you lift each other up. I've seen it at your banquets. I've seen it when the teen challenge, you guys have your choir that's phenomenal. How do people request outreach services from you?
So you can call the program development office directly, church services, and then we would be able to book a choir. That number is 508-408-4368.
Joe, what's your history with the disease of addiction?
Sure. Yeah. On February 11th of 2011, I was at my most broken. I remember the moment that I had completely lost hope. I remember that last bit of hope coming out of me. I was struggling with an opiate addiction that, progressed all the way to heroin use, daily heroin use, and I couldn't get out of my own way. Lost my job again. My wife had left me, gone to New York City with my daughter to stay, to get away from me. I remember hearing, the only place for a heroin addict is a jail institution or death. And I remember for the first time I believed that. And when I believed that, I had let go of any hope I had left. But it was in that broken place that I walked into the doors of Teen Challenge right here in Rockland. And I just began one day at a time to surrender my life. The thing that really spurred me to move forward, it wasn't really what the staff taught me here. It wasn't the things that I heard in the services or the meetings or any of those things. It was the testimonies. It was the stories of the brothers that were in the program going ahead of me. And I realized that they were just like I was. He was just like me 8 months ago, and now he's where he is. And that hope was restored, and that hope came back. And I just stayed on the journey. I've never left since February 11th, 2011. I've been here ever since. When I completed, I stayed on and did an internship. From the internship, I asked to keep me on again. I stayed on for another internship. And for 2.5 years, I just interned here and just did whatever I could to give back and help others, eventually becoming the program supervisor. And now I serve as the director here on campus. But I'm just grateful to be here and to continue to give back. It's what keeps me and allows me to keep moving forward in my own life, is to be helping others. So obviously I'm grateful for the ministry of Teen Challenge and what they did for me. But I'm grateful for everyone that's come in and been a part of this organization over the last 10 years.
Did it reunite your family as well? You said that your wife went to New York.
Yeah, my lovely wife came back after 9 months of me being in the program. She came back, and we in July we'll be celebrating 14 years, and we've added to the family since then. Not only I have my daughter back, but we've added a daughter to that mix. So I'm very lucky to have her to stick by me over all these years, and family restored.
Just amazing. That's awesome.
Much like Joe, I found myself in a place, but it was a prison cell about 6 years ago. I was facing 5 to 10 years for bank robbery to support my lifestyle of addiction. My mother saw me wanted on the 6 o'clock news in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And that's when she came to visit me in my prison cell and said that I had broken her heart into 4 pieces. That's it. I wanted to commit suicide. I said I had enough. I feel like God spoke to me and said he wanted me to serve him. So I got down on my knees and I prayed. I says, I did it. I was wrong. But if you help me to get through this, I'll serve you. But I knew I was getting out of jail when I got off my knees, and I knew I was getting out. So my case had got miraculously dismissed due to a due process violation. I called that a miracle. So what I did was I took my first steps forward, and I went into the program with Teen Challenge. After that, I haven't turned around. Teen Challenge radically changed my life. If it wasn't for coming into a loving relationship with God, who showed me my sin, but at the same time gave me salvation, it completely radically took me from darkness into light. Graduated the program about 5 years ago, and I went off to school, earned a degree, and now was given an opportunity just to come back and to serve in this ministry and whatever God had for me. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
You guys are like me when it comes to, you know that you also have to have fun. And I know that you guys have had everything from comedy fundraisers, right? Which must be a blast. Dodgeball tournaments. And you guys have a run coming up. And even though it's COVID-19, so things will have to change, this is an annual event for you guys.
Well, first, let me say that I still have people from the third annual Run to End Addiction. I still have people coming up to me and commenting on the We Do Recover wall, the recovery wall that we did and partnered with. So thank you for partnering with us last year and this year moving forward. We're excited. It's our fourth annual Run to End Addiction. And like you said, things are going to have to change. It looks like we will have to move this to a virtual event. I'm still really excited because, you know, unlike some of the other events we do throughout the year, this is very inclusive. You know, this is for everybody. This is every family member, every age. It doesn't matter. Everyone can be a part of this. The 5K is the event, the one event each year where I bring my parents, I bring my children, I bring my sister-in-law and my nieces and nephews, and so everybody's involved with it. It's a lot of fun. We're very excited to be ready. We're going to be holding it in August.
To the current season we're in with COVID-19, we will be having a virtual race. It will not be held in one spot. We have registration opportunities still open at runtoendaddiction.com. You can click on that link and then you can register to race, and then all the information of how we're having the event is all listed there. Yeah, and then we're gonna just do a social media blast, Teen Challenge Massachusetts on Facebook and Instagram.
What exactly is this fundraiser even for?
So Teen Challenge, this program, this 15-month program, we're a nonprofit organization, so we don't receive federal funding. So This is a way to people can join the fight to end addiction. It keeps the doors open. It keeps men and people in beds. It gets them fed and allows us to. It sustains the daily operations of the program. Yeah.
What does it cost to go to Teen Challenge?
You know, we ask every family that comes, every individual that comes, to see if they can come up with $750 a month to be here. It doesn't pay the whole cost. 95% of the individuals here don't pay anything. Never mind, $750. They're not paying anything to be here because, as we know, most people, by the time they're ready to go into a long-term program, they've burnt a lot of bridges. They've tried a lot of other things. Maybe they're like me and they've had their families pay for other programs that didn't work out for them. And so we understand that, and we do these events and we go out and do these choirs and fundraising opportunities so that anybody that comes to our door that wants help, we can give it to them through a scholarship. And so all the money we raise goes into our general fund, which keeps us going, that no people can come to us that have no money. And like I said, that is most people, that currently are here aren't paying any money to be here. And the guys know that, if they came in with nothing, they know that now they're part of these fundraising opportunities, and they're serving in these capacities. It helps the next person. They're not just paying their own way. They're also making sure that this program stays open for the next person that needs a bed. And so it's a model that's worked. It's obviously, it's not ideal, to be running a 108 bed facility, not necessarily knowing where the next finances are going to come from, but it works because the guys take ownership of it, and the guys go forward and keep this place open.
And the man upstairs who's large and in charge is going to keep this going. Right. There's no doubt. You've been around 60 years. You're doing something right, and you're expanding everywhere. So I know, what kind of track record do people have with you if they go the whole boat, the whole long-term program with you?
Yeah, last September, Evangel University released a study that they did. They were tracking graduates of Teen Challenge across the United States. Graduates of Teen Challenge for 5 years. They were tracking their results over a 5-year span, and they found 78% of graduates that completed the whole program stayed not only free from addiction, but still holding a job, involved with families and productive members of society. 78%. Even if you knock that in half, let's just say that knock that number down in half, that's still, you're talking about almost 40% success rate, which is just unheard of. So the catch is the program is hard. It's a hard thing to go through. It's not only long, but we're going to ask you to really work on yourself and really develop character. And that's what's going to hold you and sustain you and carry you through once you're out on your own again. So it's a difficult thing, but for a lot of people, if you tell them, hey, you've got an almost 80% chance of succeeding if you submit to this process over the next year, why wouldn't you do it?
And there's plenty of aftercare going on with these folks, right?
Yeah, before you graduate, there's when you have about 3 months left before your graduation date, we set you up with a life coach. So you have a life coach that's connected to you, that's meeting with you monthly for the next 6 months after you graduated.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Coming up, we have that virtual run, so that even COVID-19 isn't going to stop that from happening.
So one thing we're going to try to do in order to keep people connected and bring people together, because we want this to be not just an event you do at home. Like you said, there's the social media aspect. Everyone can hold a phone and put up a post and do a video, and we want to do a lot of that. We're also going to send representatives out into the communities, into different parks, and we'll let you know where we're going to be.
Oh, that's cool.
We're going to have representatives from the program at 10 to 12 different locations, and they'll be ready to share their testimony and share the vision and the mission of Teen Challenge, and just connect and hang out. We're still gonna try to connect with people, even though we can't get all together in one spot. We're thinking we can get together in some different spots across.
It's going to be awesome. I really do. And like I said, it's kind of a nice change from the same old. This will be like just adapting into the new normal for 2020.
Right.
We can always go back to other things, but this is kind of a neat chapter in history that you're addressing head on, and we're still going to do this thing, man, and I'm up for it, that's for sure, and I'm sure a lot of other people will be. Do you guys need any volunteers?
Give us a call at 508-408-4368, and that's straight to the development office line, and then we'll be glad to get their information.
Awesome. Joe, Enzo, a blast seeing you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to work with you again. And we'll be right back with our next segment, which is going to talk to Pastor Roberto Silveira from the Universal Missionary Church in Brockton, Mass., and also HIP, Homeless Improvement Project. I love that acronym. Anyways, but we'll be back in a minute, so stick around. Thanks. Peace out. Welcome back to Recovery Recreation. I'm your host, Susie Lordy. Don't think you can't have fun sober. You just haven't hung out with us yet. And now I am honored to introduce you to a brand new friend of mine, Pastor Roberto. And Pastor Roberto is from the Universal Missionary Church in Brockton, Mass., or UMC Church for short. Thank you so much for joining us, Pastor.
Well, thank you for having me today. Well, we started as a Brazilian church because I'm originally from Brazil, and but we came into this Brockton city, and after a few months we saw the need to really take care of a flock that was kind of forgotten. I call the invisible community in Brockton that nobody wants to see, then we started with coffee and donuts, serving in the morning on Sundays, and eventually turned into a breakfast, a complete breakfast every Sunday, and then became the HIP, the Homeless Improvement Project, that was formed inside the church, in the lower part of the church, and then we start to open Monday through Friday, and so we start to really catch on with the community as a church, but at the same time trying to help the people who are more need the most in this community.
Well, that sounds like a pretty ambitious thing that's been going on there. Started out with one day, one meal. Next thing we're up to how many days a week, and you're taking care of them more than once. I think, yeah, God sent you to Brockton, that's for sure. Right to North Main Street.
Yeah, I know one thing. This is the place that I was supposed to be, because I love what I do, and I do what I love in here is working with people that are in need, very much.
You take very good care of these people, and they know it.
Yeah, well, we created a great, connection. Well, it has a lot to do with how I was raised and everything, to be able to assimilate, the situation in here and dive in and get to know the people, and being able to not be afraid of people that I eventually became friend and became my flock. Really a lot of great people there are in a bad situation now, but when you get to know them, you know that is, a human being that, really has dreams, has, all kind of hope for better days in their lives, but they cannot do on their own. And we're really trying to help them step up. And we've been seeing a lot of success, people getting out of the streets, people getting their places, and we help them as much as we can in whatever they need, pretty much. If we're not able to give it, we'll find someone that will have, because
absolutely,
always someone ready to jump in and help you.
Now, Universal, when we talk about Universal Missionary Church, you don't just do work in Brockton, right? I mean, do you do other initiatives overseas? Yes,
I do. Like I said, I'm from Brazil, so we have a mission, and we start in the south of Brazil, the state called Paraná. Then we move up to the northeast of Brazil, the poor part of Brazil, where we start with the first time that we came down in 2006. We brought 9 tons of food in Brazil. We bought the food in Brazil, and we gave the food to an area where people were really in need. Since then, we build houses. We are building a village, a school, and we're trying to build a hydroponic system so we can create way for living for people to plant their own fruit and whatever they sell, like a co-op kind of situation where everybody who works will take advantage of whatever they produce.
Right. They'll benefit from you're reaping what you sow, literally.
That's right. Yeah, perfect.
That's amazing. You're doing a lot.
A lot of people don't know, but most of my volunteers comes from the community that I take care. I'm trying to empower them, with giving them an opportunity to be part of the ministry. At the same time, they don't have to stay out there. They feel useful, and build up their self-confidence, and all the things that was stolen from them because of the situation.
Sure.
We are trying to get them back to feel the same way, feel that they can really achieve the goals that waiting for them. And well, as you see, we don't have really finance coming into this church, because the congregation normally bring the provision, but in our case, the congregation, the flock, are people who are not in a condition to bring the finance, but they always helping clean up around. Our lot in here in this community is one of the cleanest lot in this area here, because we have the homeless
When you give a commitment like that to people and they see that you're in it for the long haul, they really do try to help.
They are so, one thing that makes the homeless very, very vulnerable is vulnerable because lack of sleep. Have you been sleeping for a year only 2 or 3 or 4 hours and always worry about someone's gonna steal the little that you have, and you're always trying to guard that, and you don't have a good night's sleep? Some people, I know people that have been around for years and they sleep 2-3 hours a night, and that really damages their capacity to understand, to think, to make a decision. And those are the things that we, as people who are trying to help them, we need to understand. All that comes is being a homeless is much more than just being a drug addict, another person that's irresponsible, lazy, like people think. No, being a homeless is a lot of things involved, a lot of problems.
What could you use help with?
Well, definitely we can use servers. Anybody who wants to bring like a tray of food, that will be very helpful. We have many people that help. We work in partnership. Is the only way for us to solve the problems on communities, on society, is we work together. We have to stop trying to be separate from each other. No, we need to get together and really put our strength together so we can help each other. Together we can do much more. Together we can really bring a lot of solution for this situation. I believe, Susie, that if we get together, we can end homeless in Brockton very, very quick.
I can't wait to figure out the messaging we're going to put on that big old box truck. And that, as that thing travels around, it's going to be a living message on what you're accomplishing, Pastor, and what you want to see happen. So you think on that. And like I said, you guys, so any artists who are interested in helping out 24-hour Power Artists for Recovery, that's all you got to want to do is help out. We're going to let you know the exact date as we get closer. It'll be posted on 24hrpower.com. It's also going to be on recoveryrectv.com. And Pastor, what sites will it be on for you guys?
Yes, the Homeless Improvement Project and Universal Missionary Church on Facebook. UMCUSA.org is our website for the church. Homeless is really not a problem.
No.
Homeless they could be a solution for many things that happens in Brockton. You don't have to be afraid of the homeless. They are people just like all of us.
Well, Pastor, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And now, that's going to be a wrap for this edition of Recovery Rec TV. Don't think you can't make a difference, and don't think you can't have fun being sober. You just haven't hung out with us yet. Peace out. Till next time.